Given that November's almost upon us once again, I figured it would be important to preface November with a proper preparation. So, for those of you that have been around previously, I've gone over this book, The Easy Peasy Method, um, of quitting porn. So, like, the importance of this is No Nut November is upon us. And so, in order to prepare, I would encourage people to go through and read this, or if you've already read it, to reread it, and to kind of like sink it in. The importance of this is that you're sinking in the mentality, preparing yourself for the month ahead, and so that it is not as much of a struggle as it normally would be for a month to go without nutting. So this will prepare you mentally for the journey ahead and also give you probably inspiration to bring it further than just the 1 month. So as you're reading it, it's important that you follow the directions and try and ingrain some of that mentality, because you'll need it through the whole month in order to get you through, and you'll need it in order to be able to keep yourself free for those 30 what 30 days. Yeah. So I would encourage you to go through, look at it, read it, go through it. I'll do it with you too, so I'm not asking you to do something that I won't be doing with you as well. And just kind of, it's mostly is that preparation. I wanted to give enough time for you to prepare. I do have a couple other things I plan on doing throughout the month too that I was looking at, and so that's basically point number one. Number two is if your web browser that you typically use or whatever, I would encourage you to like add blockers or whatever if you feel that you need that. And so a good place to look would be like, so this is Luke Smith's host file. You can add that as your host file, add it to the bottom of your host file, what have you. Basically, this one has like ad sites, porn, and stuff. I'm not sure how up to date it is. Your other option is you go with this unified host. And what this is it's got a bunch of like extensions that you can do. It's got basic tracking, but it also has porn filters for you, which is basically the only one I would probably encourage you to use. If you're to use anything from it, is the porn blocker, because going through some of the other stuff, it's like, maybe the gambling, but mostly the porn, maybe social media. But for the important part, if you feel you need it, the porn blocker is one that you can take advantage of. So if we go over here, so it will basically have, view the rock, come on. So it's got a bunch of like porn hosts that it basically blocks out and redirects. So you've got Luke Smith's, or you can, this one's probably more up to date than Luke Smith's. So just so you know, and you can follow the same directions as Luke Smith's. I'll basically include both of these links in the description so you can go through that. But that would be point number two. And if you are using something like uBlock Origin, which I would highly recommend, is the only like ad blocker extension you ever use is uBlock Origin, then all you have to do is go into the settings. It might come up with this list first, or like the filter list as first when you pull it down in the drop down or whatever. But you'll go to the My Filters tab and you can actually import a whole host list. So like one of these straight host lists you can import straight into uBlock, and it will basically do the same thing. It's got a host blocker in some of the filters that it uses. So I know a good number of browsers support uBlock Origin on mobile. Like if you have Fennec, which is basically mobile Firefox, then it should have extensions. You otherwise on mobile you might be going with host blocking or some other scummy kind of like janky host blocking method, which I probably like wouldn't worry about. So if the smartphone is your weak point, then I'm likely going to say that your weak point is also at night when you are alone and about to go to sleep, which I would say that instead of having your smartphone next to your bed, have like an area outside of your bedroom or something where it's away from you, where it's not easy to reach to, and put it somewhere like in a public space overnight so that you don't have it right there waiting for you throughout the month of November. And the reason that is because when it's right there, it's much easier to roll over and go through it and fail No Nut November, like right in the first week. So you might put it in the living room. I know it's going to be inconvenient, but I use my phone as my alarm clock. It's like, well, maybe it's time to go back to an old style alarm clock. And it's like, well, I need a screen or something to play games to fall asleep to. And it's like, well, do you have something that is not an internet enabled device that plays games as well? I would encourage those kinds of things, and giving you a few days to look at your options, I think, gives you time to actually look for things that might work for you to help steel you and better fortify you for the coming November. So I would encourage you to participate, and for those of you that have showed up to streams and whatnot, I would encourage you to for it. So, if you found this educational, if there were ideas that you got from it, or maybe if nutting is not even your problem, but there's something else, then maybe some of these things gave you an idea of things that you could do, or even other things that you might need help with, or how you can help other people as well. Because things like easy peasy and filter host blocking or uBlock Origin aren't just for No Nut November, but they are good tools that you can take advantage of, or even leaving your smartphone out of your bedroom while you're trying to sleep. These are all things that can just increase the quality of your life and just make life a little bit better and easier for you to deal with. So if you found this helpful, I've got shill links in the description and things like that. If you really feel, if you've got any questions or anything, Discord, Gilded, those links are also down in the description. And so I will see you guys later.